I want more Lillard. More Lillard.
Nothing bad's gonna happen. I have a gun.
You're allowed to be biased. It's okay.
Deputize that bitch and let her carry a gun. It is not the worst Scream movie in the franchise. Welcome back to Better Dig 2, the husband and wife horror podcast, bringing our couch conversations to the masses. I'm your host, Maddie.
And I'm your host, Shrade.
Grab a seat on the couch and let's talk horror.
Maddie, my darling, my love, we have the pleasure of getting to watch Scream 7. And I don't know about you, but when was the last time that the 7th movie in a beloved franchise ever pulled through?
You're asking me?
I am.
Well, Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows.
Oh, God. Okay, fair. You know what? Hand up. That I should have seen that coming. But we are a horror podcast, so we're going to go back to horror.
Technically, that was the scariest movie in that franchise.
Okay, fair. Fair. Needless to say, we're lucky enough to go watch Scream 7. We have some thoughts. I hope that any of you that have gone and watched the movie, you also have thoughts, concerns, questions. But it's really all I've got so far. I'm ready to dig into this one.
Yep. So, just the housekeeping. Scream 7, directed by Kevin Williamson, starring Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and Isabel May, which those are just the top 3 build cast, but it had lots of well-known names in it.
It did.
Written by Kevin Williamson, Guy Busick, and James Vanderbilt.
Yep. Summary. When a new Ghostface killer emerges in the town where Sidney Prescott has built her new life, her darkest fears are realized as her daughter becomes the next target. And what's really great about Scream is, Sidney Prescott, 11 out of 10. Love. One of the best Scream queens.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's really easy for us to do just a quick, Scream is a great franchise. There's no doubt.
Huge fan base, obviously.
Excellent fan base. It's a weird meta commentary on horror that at the time was fantastic. They had issues with, I think they had to edit it 9 separate times.
Oh, I didn't know
the original Scream had to be, we're going franchise. There's stuff to talk about. This is positive stuff. That's what we're doing right now. One of the things that was really interesting is it had to hit the cutting room floor, I believe, 9 separate times before it got an R rating, because it was going to get NC-17, and at the time, not a good look. Another really funny fact that I thought, so the mask that was used, it was originally a mass-produced Halloween mask known as Ghost or Father Death. And I guess during them scouting out locations, the producer found it, came across it, and was like, "This is our mask."
And it came from a very small costume maker, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't super.
And they retained the copyright to the design.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole story behind the mask itself.
Yeah, I think that's really, really rad. And then just the fact that at the time the killer revealed, the script was changed so frequently that nobody really knew the ending, including the cast. So what made the final cut was kind of a surprise to everybody. So no spoilers there. Okay. The horror movie rubric. We'll just rip this Band-Aid off quick, get that over with. Acting quality, I gave it a 3.
I was right there with you. I gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to preface this. Before the day we went and watched this movie, that week before, I had only seen the original Scream from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had seen bits and pieces of some of the other ones, but I couldn't honestly tell you which ones they were. By the time we went and watched the movie, I had seen every Scream movie.
I'm very proud of you.
There was about, 3 days in a row that I watched 2 Scream movies a night.
Heck yeah.
But I was going to be knowledgeable before we went and watched this movie. So I think my scores would have been different had I not watched all the movies, because I was kind of comparing.
Okay.
So my acting quality score definitely was comparative to some of the other movies because it was better than some of the other movies.
Yeah, you're allowed to be biased. It's okay. Like you have confirmation bias, ratings wise. There are some not so good ones in this franchise, but there are some fantastic hits. So understandable. Visual effects and cinematography, I gave it a 4. I thought it looked like a horror movie. It effectively tried to be a horror movie in the best of its ability. And they did really good with different set dressings and pieces. Mm-hmm. So I gave it they did good.
I also gave it a 4. I mean, I liked the way it looked. Blood was, good. Mm-hmm. I don't really, it's hard in some of these, I guess. Now, there was some visual effects in this movie that you could call bad, but I think they were supposed to be.
Yeah, so that's another whole can of worms.
So
at what point does
I can't judge that it was bad visual effects when it was, I guess, supposed to be?
See, I don't know. It's a Hollywood blockbuster. You've got an established franchise. You need to make it.
I know, but what I'm saying is the screens. I don't want to let on too much. The screens.
Mm-hmm.
And the AI.
Yeah, we're
digging
into that one.
They obviously didn't want that to look good because it was that was part of the evil of this movie.
Yeah, and it took you out of the moment.
So they're not going to want the AI to look good and convincing because they don't want to make it good. So it's like those visual effects.
Yeah, I don't even count that.
Were bad, but they were supposed to be bad.
No, honey, it was a perfect, it was a completely perfect reconstruction. Yeah. So let's get past that. That is a big qualm that I have, but there's a rant incoming.
Okay. All right. Next one. Audio.
I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3.5. There wasn't a whole lot to grade about the audio.
I mean, I have a bonus point later on, spoilers, that pertains to audio, but it
was standard.
It was fine. The soundtrack for the movie that's released on Spotify is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ice Nine Kills,
was that fantastic. Where was that song? Was it in the post credits?
I'm not sure.
Because I don't even remember hearing it.
No, but we've been blasting it for the last week and a half leading up to the movie, so I kind of figured it would be a mainstay.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I assumed it was probably going to be a song running in the credits, just because that's how it normally goes. But I don't remember hearing it.
I don't either. Maybe we're just bad movie watchers in the theater.
Maybe.
Story, 2.5. What the hell? What did we watch?
Yeah.
You take a beloved series, you make some stinkers. It happens. They can't all be gold. But the last 3 iterations of the movie were.
Well, okay. So I gave it a 3. It would have scored higher for me had the ending been different.
Okay.
It felt kind of disjointed. It just didn't feel like it fit, or it was an afterthought, and it just didn't. It didn't feel like all the other Scream movies with the motive. It felt like a made up motive, I guess. I don't know. It would have scored higher for me, even if the killer was the same, if the motive made more sense.
Yeah.
If you look back at every other Scream movie, there is a clear motive. There is connections.
There's dead fathers to bastard children.
Yeah.
This was like your yoga instructor. It suddenly is like the killer, and then like a random guy that you don't know, and then it just
it had the ingredients. It had the ingredients to be good, and where I thought it was going, I was on board with it, and then it all of a sudden it was just like, what is going on? What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it fell apart. It had the makings to be something good, but the bones were so just shifted.
Yeah, they chose the wrong ending on this Choose Your Adventure.
Yeah, they did.
Like you said, if there was the first movie, if there was like multiple possible endings, they put the wrong one in the final production.
Agreed.
Again, I'm sure there's people out there that liked it. I was not one of them. So.
There's like dozens.
There's dozens of them.
Mm-hmm.
Scariness. I gave it a 2.5. It was not even on the Scream scale of scariness, where they're not scary. They have some jump scares. They have,
yeah, and like
they lean more funny. They have more humor, but even on, I guess, this, like I said, the Scream level of scariness, I gave it a 2.5. Just overall, it was meh.
I gave it a 3. The reason I gave it a 3, I'm an old-fashioned boy from Texas. If you put, I don't want to say helpless or defenseless women, because that's not for me to say, but something that is going to overpower and harm to me, like I try to be like, oh my gosh, we need to protect them, blah, 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 blah. Like the scene where she is swinging back and forth and he's literally just stabbing her.
Yeah.
From like, I'm just like, that's pretty terrifying. So, you're just powerless.
As a woman.
Oh yeah.
that scene right there. I mean, I wouldn't be up in the harness swinging from the rafters, anyways. But,
fair.
But yeah, that part, honestly, one of the more, that helplessness, probably one of the scariest parts of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the women in the rest of the movie, it's like that TikTok sound. Nothing bad's gonna happen. I have a gun. That would be me. Like if I had a gun, which I would, I'm fine. Because first off, I'm going to be a better shot than the rest of them. And that's one of my, I'm just going to get into it right now. That is one of my qualms about this series and about Sydney freaking Prescott. Because her whole identity, her whole life revolves around being hunted down. And she has proven that she's going to have a gun on her.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she not better with it?
And
then she's married.
Yeah, to
a sheriff or a deputy or whatever he is.
Yeah.
Some law enforcement.
It might as well have been Doofy, honestly. Like
I'm like, girl, you need some range time.
It's range time, and then like you can't give her like a bunker in her house and all of like these like choke points and it's like we've rehearsed this. We know this is a thing.
They had, you could there was at least one scene where even the daughter and the dad had a nod, and and he said now, and it was a rehearsed. I mean, I'm sorry, but if they go that far, girl, you need some more range time. And also more guns. The lack of them.
This is just our hick side coming out.
I don't care.
How come the M people has more guns?
No. If you'd gone your whole life, how many? I mean, we're on the 7th iteration of this.
Oh, come on now.
She needs to have a gun everywhere.
Listen,
Every drawer, every closet in their
I
house.
like that. And Tatum is so one note in the movie almost to its entirety. You went on your little rant. I'm going to hold mine back, but just know there's some Tatum slander, and it's nothing against the actress. It is just, we've got to talk about it.
Anyways,
yeah.
scariness. So back to scariness.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be scary at all. She should be strapped the hell up all the time.
Yeah, you're looking for Sarah
And the fact
Connor.
that aren't they in Texas in this one? What state are they in?
Yeah, I believe so.
I know they're not in New York and they're not in California.
No.
I think I don't know. Why is she not carrying? Every time she goes to grab a gun, it's in a safe, which I get. They're probably trying to promote
Hollywood
gun control.
Promoting protective.
Well, deputize that bitch and let her carry a gun.
God, what's it going to take? She literally married a guy who could make that happen.
I'm just like, God, okay. Well, all that to say, our enjoyability.
Double fours.
I gave it a 4.
It got us out of our house. We hung out with some friends. One of them is an avid and super huge fan of Scream.
Yeah, he could be in the Scream movies as one of the stab fanatics.
Yeah, 100%. So, it was great. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for trying to share your super sick fandom with us. It was...
And honestly, throughout the movie, I caught myself smiling a lot.
Well, I think it plays on the nostalgia part of it with some of the recurring characters.
Yeah,
and I think that's
absolutely.
a big part of it.
Absolutely. So, okay, so yeah, enjoyability. We both gave it a 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bonus. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first just because the audio. It was one of my, I gave it a 3 earlier, but saving a whole point for Red Right Hand. I don't know what it is about when that song plays in the Scream movie. It's a bop. I listen to it outside. I've not watched a single episode of Peaky Blinders. I know it's in there, but damn it, if I don't like that song,
it's a good song.
It's a damn good song.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. My only other bonus point was, you also share this. Spoiler alert. Is the great Matthew Lillard. Great dude. I love seeing him in movies. Hated what they did to his character.
Yeah. So, okay. Mm-hmm. My bonus, I also give it 2 bonus points. 1 just for Matthew Lillard. I also agree. I do hate how his character was treated in this movie. I wish it would have been different. Even if it had been predictable. Mm-hmm. I think I would have been happier with that.
Yeah.
Than what it was. But we still got to see him and see actually him. Whereas in 6 and 5, we got to see Billy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Skeet. But it was just a vision of him, and it was kind of ghosty looking, so at least Lillard was actually a piece of it for a bit.
Yeah, which again, I've got thoughts.
Okay. And then my second point, I did give it a bonus point for it was a good, to me, it was a good mix of old Scream and then the new Scream. So Scream 1, 2, 3, the original trilogy, and especially 3 gets really goofy.
Well, yeah.
And it starts towing the line into scary movie territory.
But it's the meta. It's the meta critique on the horror franchise.
I'm just saying the fighting scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
The over exaggerated and the flops and
You're talking about Matrix style choreography.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So those old Screams, they're just more goofy. But then when you get into 4 kind of, but then like 5 and 6, they're a little more brutal. The
Yeah.
kills, and so we definitely saw some of that. Some of the kills were just more brutal. There's more brutality. So I feel like it was a good mix. So the movie itself was an homage to just the series as a whole. I liked that. There was
Fair.
those aspects of it I could see. Oh, that reminds me of that movie. That reminds me of that one. So I gave it a bonus point because I liked the good mix of kind of bringing it all together.
Okay.
So
That brings us to our totals on the rubric. I gave it a big, stinky 21.5. It is a C.
I gave it a 22.5, which is also a C. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I mean, disappointing. I guess. I mean, what really do you expect from a 7th movie in a franchise?
That's what I'm saying. But it can't all be Harry Potter. So,
Exactly, they can't.
is there any, like, what was your favorite thing about the movie? If you had to really dredge one up. Okay. You know what? I'll take it first here. I think that they effectively used a coffee shop as a location that I personally don't see as like a horror spot. They used the town very effectively, like the empty city streets. They utilized the claustrophobic kind of style that Scream gives you, you know. And they also portrayed the man behind the mask trope, where the guy behind the mask is supernaturally strong and can defeat a trained police officer in hand-to-hand combat, which last I checked.
And it's Joel McHale. He's a big guy.
It's a big dude.
He's tall, and yeah.
He got beat up by a software guy. Don't forget that. But he was also in the insane asylum guy.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Yeah. That just goes. Where they were going with it, where I thought they were going with it, I was on board with it. I was on board with an ending that was even unexplainable. Like, somehow Stu survived. I honestly would have been okay with that more than the ending we got. Just because it's Stu. Like,
yeah, it was.
And I guess, I don't know.
Like, you're allowed to have you're allowed to have that kind of bias toward like a beloved character. We're also, you know, simps for Matthew Lillard.
Yeah,
so it's like,
love him.
You know, I want to see the guy do stuff. He's a giant nerd. I'm a giant nerd. I want more Lillard. More Lillard. That's all I want.
So I'm going to play off of the, what you were talking about, the town. So at the end, you know, go back to first Scream. It's not a haunted house movie. None of them. I mean, they're not haunted house movies, I guess. I mean, there's a ghost haunting a house, technically. But it's all within a house. It's, you know, and then as people start dropping, there's less and less around to help you. It's just running around a house, locking doors. It's a haunted house in a sense to me.
It is.
This one, they made the whole town. They took that and expanded it into the town because with the curfew they put in place, she's running down the street screaming for help and there's no one there.
Yeah.
And so you know, they took that, like, running through the house with no one to help you, and expanded it into the whole city. And it's that, like, reverse claustrophobia feel, if you want to call it that. I don't know. Like, I'm more terrified of a big open dark space. Like, being out in a field in the middle of the night freaks me out more than being in a house, in a pitch black house.
Yeah, I think it's the trope of, like, you can be run down and there's not really, like, no matter how far you go, there's nowhere to escape.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide, basically.
It's
I don't
the same
know.
way that, like, not to jump movies here, but how Jason can always like make the woods or any space just because, he himself is this entity, right? And so like with Ghostface, spoiler alert, there's two of them. Cool. One of them can do karate and
there's
be
technically three.
technically three. Sure.
I mean, there was three for a little while.
Yeah, for a little while. It's understandable. I get it. But we round out.
There's always more than one, though. There's always got to be more than one.
Yeah, there's always got to be more than one. You're absolutely right. I'm trying to be positive here.
Okay.
I'm more good.
I'll give another positive.
Okay.
I love that they brought Mindy and Chad back.
Fair.
You don't know because you hadn't watched all of them, right?
You're not supposed to tell them that.
No, we're truthful here, and I'm gonna call them out because I did my homework.
That's true. I had to work. It was sad. I only missed the last two before this one.
And that's the thing is, I enjoyed 5 and 6. 4 kind of stood alone or was almost like a standalone.
Yeah.
I like that era Emma Roberts though. So even though it was a little cheesy and a little cringy, she can like make it work. But 5 and 6, I liked where they were going with it, and had they continued going with it, I was hoping they were going to do more of a torch pass to Mindy and Chad. I think they deserve that spot. I think they deserve to be the next Sydney and Gail.
I think that they had the perfect opportunity to pass that torch to them and squandered it. And instead we kind of passed the torch to Tatum a little bit, but then
at the very end though, I mean, there was a sort of symbolic torch pass. Gail literally gave her mic to Mindy.
Yeah. So maybe we get, I wish there would be a little bit more focus on that and give Mindy, her moment in the sun. And maybe Tatum,
I feel like they earned it. They know the rules.
They've been stabbed. They know the rules. Yeah. They can figure out the killer. They broadcast it, which was fun. Like their whole scene in the bar was great. Another positive, Gail, our beloved Gail.
She's still there.
She's still there.
Her and Sydney still rocking along.
Yeah. Now I do have another qualm with our sweet Tatum. You, the entire movie, have found yourself to be less than effective at handling these situations, to put it nicely.
Oh, I have a point to make about that. Was it a case of Sydney trying to protect her and keep her out of it?
Yeah. She didn't want her,
but not preparing her.
Yeah, it's like when your parents are like too overprotective, and then finally you get out into the real world and you're like, oh crap, I've never driven outside of the town that I've lived in my entire life. Like,
yeah,
I've never been anywhere. I've never done anything.
And it would I feel like that would make more sense if there hadn't been a Ghostface attack in Tatum's entire life. And it could be attributed to complacency. I don't know. But Tatum is 18, 17, 18.
Yeah, something like that.
And we had 2011. We had a 22. We had we've had 3 Ghostface incidents.
Yeah.
Since Tatum was alive, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Because really, the 2011, which would have been Scream 4, Tatum would have been alive unless the years the movies released were not, what they were supposed to be for the actual movie. But if you're going by movie year, we've had 3 Ghostface reappearances since Tatum's been alive. One of them, Sydney was not involved in. She did not.
Right, but you definitely hear about that kind of crap.
Obviously, they
So, like,
contacted
yeah.
her. She was aware of it happening, and they were trying to. I mean, they obviously would try to lure her there, but she didn't go that time. But still, 3 Ghostface incidents in her life so far, and
Her most precious thing
but
in the entire
again,
world. She's
Sydney
not
doesn't
gonna
even prepare herself very well.
Yeah.
Girl needs more range time.
Yeah. So like Tatum, towards the end of the movie, you see her accept the role as, you know, I've got to protect myself. Finally, all of my friends are dead. I better suck it up and figure it out. The scene where she's fumbling around with a gun inside the coffee shop is just like, it was very cringe inducing, but also understandable for somebody who's never handled a firearm. There's definitely like a level of nervousness.
Why
But
has she
why
never
does she-
handled a firearm?
Yeah, that's my point. And then, you know, we see her stumble around with a gun, not do so hot. She magically shoots him through the door. Her mom, who is like, she's in a life or death situation, is telling
Yeah.
her to shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
And what does she do? Not that, gets abducted, and then we get to the final
the number
section.
one rule in all of Scream: always shoot him in the head.
Yeah, and we continue to like just drive that point in and have no real payoff.
Yeah, and they play off of that too freaking much.
So that happens, and then at the very end of the movie, she magically becomes a sharpshooter with the gun, which I'm like, yeah, you're at close range, cool. But like, would you not be freaking out? Like, that's my thing. And then Sydney like decides to finally like actually be the bad bitch that she is, and then puts her down, and you're like, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the movie rolls. Man, I don't want to keep ragging on it, but there's something we need to discuss. Why does Hollywood continue to throw down the horrors of AI in things that we don't need?
Yeah. It's
Stu was just an AI figment used like
I understand. Okay. I and again, I'm not a proponent of AI.
no.
It's not good. It can be really bad. And especially in the arts, we're seeing the decline of original works and supporting artists because AI is being used widely. It's being used it's being used to write books. It's replacing artwork. It's bad, okay?
I understand that. I really do.
But yes, it's
Don't-
shoving it down our throats.
And don't make it the main
Yeah.
like, oh, all the cameos of your beloved characters, well, they're all AI and don't worry about it. Like it's all just like to
Well,
me
and
it was
so-
such a cop out.
Well, and it makes me wonder, was there a better storyline that got replaced to push the anti-AI agenda?
And if we have AI, why did we not get Skeet?
Yeah, especially when we had him in 5 and 6. That's one of my points, is we got a 2-second cameo of all the previous people that have died. And if it was an issue with Skeet, why was he in 5 and 6 and not this one? And it's not like him and Matthew have beef. They're like still best buds.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that was. He was like the only one of, I mean, obviously there were some that weren't shown, but he's literally one of the original 2 Ghostface, and Matthew coming back for this one and then not showing a 2-second clip of Skeet like they did for Dewey and
What's her name?
Mhm.
The mom?
Who? Sydney's mom?
No, or was it Sydney's mom?
Oh no, Skeet's mom.
Yeah,
Or
Skeet's
Billy's mom.
I was gonna say, I was like, that's not Sydney's mom. Did I just completely miss that? But,
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then speaking of like snippets, getting snippets of people, I kind of feel like they did a Drew Barrymore in this one, where McKenna Grace was, you know, advertised that
I
she was in this movie, and she was not in it very long. And so I don't know if that was on purpose. Like it was, like I said, a Drew Barrymore
yeah
situation where she was advertised and was like barely in it.
yeah. Well, the funny thing is another fun fact. Drew Barrymore actually asked for her to be like killed immediately
Mm.
in the movie. So like, oh crap! Like this lady that we thought was the main build actress is
Yeah.
yeah.
But with McKenna being featured on the Ice Nine Kills song,
So hear me out. I
she
hope
did
that
great.
was part of the things that were negotiated for her contract on this movie was that she
Yeah.
gets a feature in a Nice Nine Kills
Yeah.
because that was great.
It was a great song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
She
It's a
can
banger.
sing,
Yeah, she's great.
but I thought that was kind of funny. If it was on purpose, then
Hmm.
that was another, callback.
I gotcha. I
I,
do see under our favorite effects,
hmm
you've got one.
It's not really an effect, I guess, but I thought it was a good alternative to a jump scare, you could say. So there's the one scene where they're in the house and dark hallway because they did a lot of the anti-jump scares. Like every
Mm.
time you thought there
Mm.
was going to be a jump
Mm.
scare, there wasn't. There would be the music build up and then the fridge would close and nothing was there. But there was the doorway and it was dark in the hallway and you just see the mask come forward a little bit and then sink back into the darkness. And then in the garage or whatever they were building on the house, and there was all the plastic sheeting. And
Mm.
again, you just see the mask come forward, or the sheeting kind of pushed back, and you just see the mask, and then it goes away, and it's just over their shoulder. They could have easily just stabbed him in the back.
Yeah.
But I liked the ominous, just the ooh, you see it, especially because that scene was at the very beginning of the movie. They were in Stu's house. The whole concept of Stu's house being bought and made into like an Airbnb.
Yeah, that is like such a weird.
I would do
I
it.
think
I'd go.
yeah, I know. That's the problem is like, so like horror fans like ourselves are the demographic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It did a meta commentary right out of the gate. Very effective. That's another, good job. Way to do the thing.
You got a good dose of nostalgia right out of the gate.
Yeah. So it was like, again, the rails were good
Mm-hmm.
and then they weren't.
Yeah. Like I said, it had all the ingredients to be pretty good. And they just burnt it.
Okay. How did this movie make you feel?
I mean, I got a lot of nostalgia out of it.
Okay.
And I I hate to say nostalgia considering I'd only seen the original Scream until literally the week before, but I'd seen the original Scream
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago and I've seen it. It's, maybe not a yearly rewatch, but every once in a while, like I want to go watch Scream,
Yeah. And it's great.
And so it gave me some nostalgia, but
I felt depressed. I was very excited for it. I love hanging out with, of course, my lovely wife and our friends, and having an avid enjoyer of Scream and sitting next to him and him just like holding his face and saying, "Oh my God," or "Really?" Like you're just. It's
I
a
guess
bummer, man.
that was probably the biggest bummer is that our big screen glazer wa-
Okay, fair.
was not very happy coming out of this movie. So it's like if anyone was gonna put it up on a pedestal, would have been him.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Yeah.
So
It was fun making, some nice jabs here and there about this great franchise. But yeah, I want more. I just don't. I don't know. Like after this, like where do you go from there?
yeah. I I hope, I mean, I say I hope, but it doesn't really matter, but it just, to me, it felt like there was a better script, better story there, and things got switched up, changed for final production that just the pieces did not fit like they should have.
Yeah.
And whether it was to get some commentary or another in there or to feed some agenda,
Mm.
I don't know.
So, do you think that? Do you think that we could get a Scream 8 and it magically, like, they go back to their roots and they have, Mindy and Tatum and they ride off into the sunset and they Scooby-Doo mystery some stuff? Or
If it keeps going, I want Mindy and Chad to be the leads.
oh yeah, throw Chad in there too. You have to. He's
Well,
great.
the twins. You got to have the twins.
Yeah.
And I'd say I'd want it to be like the next generation, but what is a Scream movie without Sidney Prescott?
Yeah, where can you go from there? And then
At this point, it would feel like a knockoff movie if she wasn't in it, and really I think it could go without Gail, because I prefer Dewey over Gail, but
have to.
but Dewey and Gail go together, and so I feel like that was another point that it started to decline, was once Dewey was gone. Because I felt like when you had the original, that trio still in there,
Mm-hmm.
they worked well off of each other. But now that it's just Sydney and Gail, so if they make more, I think they have to keep Chad and Mindy just to, keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum, unless they do this whole like inherited curse, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, like,
But
it plays on the fanatical
like
side of it.
Yeah.
But they have got to make the villains
Makes sense.
Yeah, make it make
Which
sense.
every other movie they did in, some way. They had a connection. They had motive. Go back to the very first movie when they're like, here's the formula for a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Motive. And they gave her a shitty motive. It wasn't motive enough for the actions.
Random tech guy, angry, disgruntled mother.
Yeah.
Well, crazy, angry, disgruntled
And her
mother.
recruits from the psych ward.
Yeah. Yeah. Her sad, lost, crazy.
It would have, again, I would have been happier, or I would have been more accepting of the storyline they were leading them to believe, that somehow Stu survived and ended up in a hospital as a John Doe,
Mm-hmm.
lives there forever, and then suddenly gets his memories back, goes crazy. The two friends he's made, he's like, hey, let's go killing.
Mm-hmm.
And they tag along and they go.
I'd have been happy with it.
That we've had way worse
We've had ghosts.
plots
Literal ghosts.
on horror movies. Like, it just would have been better than what we got here.
Yeah. Who is this movie for?
Well, I mean, Scream fans, that's who they made it for, obviously, because that's who they were expecting to fill the theaters.
Yeah, they'll be depressed, but if you want to just do your little completionist and have all of your movies lined up on a shelf, go watch it. If not, just go watch the original. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get so much more bang for your buck.
Now, I will give it this. It is not the worst Scream movie in the franchise. I would give that award to number 3. So it
Yeah.
has that.
Fair. You know what? I agree with you. I think that's our take on Scream 7. We'd love to hear from you on any movie, anything. Tell us what you thought of it down below.
So, like, subscribe, and share for more horrifying content. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay spooky.